If you're over 60 and you've been feeling a little off lately, tired for no reason, moody without explanation, or noticing changes in your body that don't quite make sense, stay with me for the next few minutes because what I'm about to share may explain symptoms that many doctors overlook, symptoms that get blamed on just getting older, when something more specific might actually be going on. Today, we're talking about the hidden symptoms of hormonal changes after 60, the ones that rarely come up in a regular checkup, the ones people quietly live with for years without realizing there's a name for what they're feeling. Some of what you're about to hear might surprise you. And stick around, because later in this video, we'll talk about a common mistake many older adults make that can actually make these symptoms worse without them even knowing it. Let's start with why this topic matters so much for people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. Most of us grow up thinking hormones are something that mainly affects teenagers or women going through menopause. But the truth is, hormones keep changing throughout our entire lives, quietly, gradually, and often without any dramatic announcement. For men, testosterone slowly declines with age. For women, even years after menopause, hormone levels continue to shift. And hormones like cortisol, thyroid hormone, insulin, and melatonin, the ones that regulate stress, metabolism, and sleep, don't stay steady either. They drift, sometimes just enough to change how you feel every day, without being dramatic enough to trigger alarm bells in a standard blood test. This matters because these small shifts can affect memory, mood, energy, sleep, weight, skin, digestion, and even how your heart feels day to day. And because the symptoms often show up gradually, many people, and sometimes even their doctors, assume it's simply a normal part of aging that can't be helped. But understanding what's actually happening in your body can help you and your healthcare provider have a much more useful conversation, and in some cases, make simple changes that genuinely improve quality of life. So let's walk through some of these hidden symptoms, one at a time. The first one is unexplained fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. We all expect to feel a little more tired as we get older, but there's a difference between the normal tiredness of a long day and the kind of deep, heavy fatigue that doesn't go away no matter how much you sleep. This type of exhaustion is often linked to changes in thyroid hormone, which acts like the engine that controls your body's metabolism. When thyroid hormone drops even slightly, a condition sometimes called subclinical hypothyroidism, you may not test far enough outside the normal range to raise concern, yet you can still feel drained, foggy, and low on motivation. Think of it like a car running on a weaker battery. The car still starts, it still drives, but everything feels a little slower, a little heavier. If you've been feeling like your battery just isn't charging the way it used to, it may be worth asking your doctor for a full thyroid panel rather than just a basic screening. The second hidden symptom is subtle mood changes, particularly increased irritability, anxiety, or a flat, low mood that wasn't there before. Many people assume mood changes in later life are only related to life circumstances, retirement, loss of loved ones, changes in independence, and those things certainly play a role. But hormones like estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol also directly influence brain chemistry, including serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals responsible for feelings of calm and motivation. When these hormone levels shift, some people describe it as feeling like their emotional thermostat is off. Small things bother them more, or they feel emotionally numb in situations that used to bring joy. This isn't a character flaw or something to feel embarrassed about. It's often a biological shift, and recognizing that can be the first step toward addressing it appropriately with a healthcare provider appropriately. Now, here's something that surprises a lot of people, and it's coming up next. One of the most overlooked hormonal symptoms after 60 has nothing to do with mood or energy at all. It shows up in the skin and joints. We'll get to that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about sleep. The third hidden symptom is disrupted or lighter sleep, even when you're not stressed and go to bed at a reasonable hour. Melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate your sleep wake cycle, naturally decreases with age. At the same time, cortisol, your stress hormone, can become less predictable. sometimes staying elevated later into the evening than it should. The result is a frustrating pattern many older adults experience: falling asleep fine, but waking up multiple times through the night, or waking up far earlier than intended and being unable to fall back asleep. This isn't simply insomnia in the way people often think of it. It's frequently a hormonal timing issue. A simple example: imagine your body has an internal orchestra conductor, keeping everyone in rhythm. When melatonin and cortisol lose their timing, the whole orchestra starts playing slightly out of sync, even if every instrument still works fine on its own. If this sounds familiar, it may help to talk with your doctor about your sleep patterns specifically, rather than just mentioning "I'm tired," since the underlying cause matters for the solution. Now, back to that overlooked area I mentioned: skin, hair, and joints. The fourth hidden symptom is thinning skin, slower wound healing, and increased joint stiffness. Estrogen and testosterone both play a role in collagen production, the protein that keeps skin firm and joints cushioned. As these hormones decline, skin can become noticeably thinner and more fragile. Bruises may take longer to heal, and joints can feel stiffer, especially in the morning. Many people chalk this up entirely to arthritis or wear and tear. And while that's certainly part of the picture for many, hormonal decline can be a contributing factor that's rarely discussed. This is one of those areas where gentle, realistic lifestyle habits can genuinely help, not as a cure, but as support. Staying well hydrated, eating enough protein, and doing light resistance movement like using resistance bands or bodyweight exercises a few times a week can help support muscle and joint health as we age. It's not about intense workouts. It's about consistent, gentle movement your body can actually sustain. Here's a mistake many people make without realizing it: cutting back on protein as they get older because their appetite naturally decreases. Ironically, this is exactly the time in life when the body often needs more protein, not less, to help maintain muscle and support hormone-related tissue repair. We'll come back to practical tips like this shortly, but first, let's cover two more symptoms that often go unnoticed. The fifth hidden symptom is changes in body temperature regulation: feeling unusually cold or experiencing sudden warmth, even years after menopause for women, or without any obvious cause for men. Most people associate hot flashes strictly with the years immediately around menopause, but some women continue experiencing temperature fluctuations well into their 60s and 70s, simply at a lower intensity. For men, declining testosterone can sometimes cause similar sensations, along with increased sweating or feeling unusually cold in the hands and feet. This happens because hormones help regulate the body's internal thermostat, located in a part of the brain called the hypothalamus. When hormone levels shift, that thermostat can become less stable. If you've noticed unexplained temperature swings and assumed it was just you, know that this is a real and fairly common experience, and it's worth mentioning to your doctor, especially if it's affecting your sleep or daily comfort. The sixth hidden symptom, and one of the most underdiscussed, is changes in memory and mental clarity, sometimes called brain fog. This is an area where many older adults feel a quiet sense of worry, wondering if occasional forgetfulness is an early sign of something more serious. While any significant or rapidly progressing memory changes should always be evaluated by a doctor, mild fluctuations in focus and word recall can also be linked to hormonal shifts, particularly involving estrogen, thyroid hormone, and even blood sugar regulation through insulin. Think of your brain like a well-organized filing cabinet. Hormones help keep those files easy to access. When hormone levels fluctuate, it can feel like the drawers are a little stickier than usual. The information is still there, but retrieving it takes a bit more effort. This is different from serious memory loss, but it's still worth discussing with a healthcare provider, both for peace of mind and to rule out other causes. Now, let's talk about something practical, because understanding these symptoms is only half the picture. The other half is knowing what you can reasonably do about them. First, don't dismiss persistent symptoms as simply old age. If fatigue, mood changes, sleep problems, or memory changes are new, worsening, or affecting your daily life, it's worth having a specific conversation with your doctor. Ask directly about hormone-related causes, including thyroid function, And don't hesitate to request more detailed testing if your symptoms don't match a normal lab result. Second, prioritize consistent sleep and light exposure. Getting natural sunlight in the morning helps regulate your body's internal clock, which can support healthier melatonin and cortisol rhythms over time. Third, focus on protein and hydration, especially as appetite naturally decreases with age. This isn't about restrictive dieting. It's about giving your body the basic building blocks it needs to support skin, muscle, and joint health. Fourth, incorporate gentle, regular movement. You don't need an intense gym routine. Walking, stretching, and light resistance exercises a few times a week can meaningfully support hormonal and physical health over time. And fifth, be patient and kind with yourself. Hormonal changes are a normal part of aging, not a personal failing. Understanding what's happening in your body is empowering. It turns confusion into clarity and clarity into action. Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap what we've covered today. We talked about unexplained fatigue linked to subtle thyroid changes, mood shifts tied to hormonal influence on brain chemistry, disrupted sleep caused by changing melatonin and cortisol patterns, skin and joint changes connected to declining collagen-supporting hormones, temperature regulation issues that can persist well beyond the years typically associated with menopause, and mild memory fog that may be more common and more explainable than many people realize. None of this is meant to alarm you. It's meant to help you feel more informed and more in control. If you recognized yourself in any of these symptoms today, that awareness alone is valuable. The next step is simple. Bring these specific points up with your doctor. Ask direct questions, and don't settle for "that's just aging" as the only explanation if something genuinely doesn't feel right. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these symptoms surprised you the most, or which one do you relate to personally? Let us know in the comments. And if you're comfortable sharing, tell us your age and where you're watching from. Our community loves connecting with viewers from all around the world. If today's video helped you understand your body a little better, consider sharing it with a friend or family member who might benefit from it too. Thank you for spending this time with us today. Take care of yourself, listen to your body, and we'll see you in the next video.